Welcome to the Kingdom Culture Podcast that was created on purpose with a purpose to empower, uplift, and guide others to the center of God's perfect will.
Kingdom Culture family, welcome back to the Kingdom Culture Podcast. I hope everybody's been having a great week. I wanted to talk about something that happened to me last week, and I researched it, and it was super cool. So last week, I was actually feeling a little bit anxious and depressed. I wasn't feeling like myself, and I had a chaotic moment last week, Tuesday. And so, excuse my hair. And so, usually breathing brings me back to the present moment. Breathing exercises and, closing my eyes and praying brings me back to the present moment while I'm feeling overwhelmed. But last week, that just was not helping. And so I was feeling anxious. My chest was hurting. I had a big headache. I was feeling so exhausted, but I couldn't sleep. And I started to be like, what can I do to get me out of this state? Because I didn't want to sit in that, those emotions, those thoughts that were not real. And I just started to play music. The Lord said, just play music. So I started playing, kind of like an R&B type of mood, chill, like worship music. And I just laid there with my head, back on a couch. I was just chilling. Literally, I was on my couch chilling. I was like this, listening to music, laying down with headphones on. And it brought me back to my present moment. It helped me stay calm. I loved it. And I started sharing music with a friend of mine. And I told her, I got to talk about this on the podcast because this has never, clicked in my mind that if we do what we love, it helps us get back to the present moment. When you're feeling anxious, when you're feeling stressed, when you're feeling overwhelmed, doing something you love will help you get out of your head because you're thinking about thoughts that have not happened yet and into the present moment. So let's dive into it. Let's talk more about it, right? So when we're overwhelmed, overstimulated, we do something that will bring us back to the present moment. Like I said, for me, it's music. So doing what you love can anchor you into today, back to your present moment, reduce stress, and provide a sense of control when life feels chaotic. What is feeling overwhelmed? It's trying to juggle too many balls at once because you're constantly trying to keep everything in the air, but it feels like at any moment everything could come crashing down. So feeling overwhelmed is like you have a lot of things to do and you're doing them, but you're not doing them calmly. You're kind of forcing your way through. You're kind of forcing yourself to do things, and you become stressed, and you become overwhelmed, and you become anxious. So when we're overwhelmed, our body goes into a fight or flight mode. This could lead to physical symptoms like headaches, trouble sleeping, like a muscle tension. For me, it was my chest hurting. And it can make us lose touch with ourselves. It can make us want to be in the future always, or thinking about something that we should have done differently. So again, it's all in here, right? In this moment, right now, I can say, oh my gosh, I have X, Y, and Z to do. I just started a business. Like, what am I doing? Why am I still doing the podcast? Not focusing on that. I have a 9-to-5. I have a son that I have to take care of. Do I spend enough time with him? What happens if I don't spend enough time with him? Etc., etc., etc. But in this present moment, right now, right here with you guys, I'm safe. Everything is good. There's not one thing in my life in this moment that is not okay. And that this state right now is where we need to get back to. And that's called our flow state. So a flow is that feeling you get when you're so absorbed in an activity that everything else fades away. Time flies, and all of your worries take a back seat. Being in this flow state was the biggest thing that I've ever learned, and that's changed my life. because we have made it so common for ourselves to just struggle and to just force our way through, when in reality everything's supposed to flow nicely. We're not supposed to feel overwhelmed and stressed all the time. But our society, the way that we have treated ourselves, the way that we have conditioned ourselves to be, that's the new normal. And that was a big thing for me, because I'm like, that's so true. Like, when I used to be at work and overstressed and like overthinking and feeling, all of these feelings, it was because I was trying to control something that was out of my control. I was trying to force myself to make something happen when I really couldn't. So I was outside of my flow state. In your flow state, things just align, and you feel like you're going through life peacefully, and you feel joy, and you feel happy, and you get more energy, and you're actually doing things that are your passions. That is what a flow state is. That is how we're supposed to live our life, but we don't, because of fear of whatever, or overthinking, or like feeling overwhelmed, or wanting to control everything. But that's the biggest thing that I want you guys to take out of this podcast episode today, is that we are supposed to live in a flow. We are supposed to feel calm. We are supposed to feel like, the one thing that we do is the one thing that makes us the most joyful. Right? Everything fades away. Everything else fades away, it says. Time flies and all of your worries take a back seat. When we do something we love, our brain releases dopamine, which is the chemical that boosts our mood and helps us feel more relaxed. It's a natural antidote to stress. That's amazing. So, like, our brain chemistry also brings us back to the present moment with, dopamine. So, it could be painting, it could be running, it could be playing an instrument, it could be music, it could be sitting outside, it could be by water, it could be going to the beach to read, it could be at the park, it could be just something that you love, right? Something that really attracts your attention, something that is your passion. So how do we find that? How do we find the one thing? For me, it was music, and I forgot. I honestly had forgotten how much I loved music. And when I was sitting on that couch, I kid you not, I was back in my room from my childhood home, in my room, laying in bed, listening to music, making CDs, and just being immersed into that task. It's the one thing that I love to do. Is listen to music, discover new artists, make CDs, make mixtapes, like all of the things. Like, that was the one hobby that I could not get enough of. And it brought me back to that. So, think back to your childhood. What are the things that you'd love to do as a child? What is the one thing that you repeatedly found yourself doing when you were a kid? And now as an adult, have you tried discovering new hobbies? Have you asked yourself, I'm like, what is one thing that I want to pick up and learn that I'm going to enjoy? The other thing for me right now is piano and guitar. Again, it's all linked to music. So we have to start thinking about the hobbies that we want to have, the things that make us happy, the things that we used to enjoy as kids, and do them again. Because when we grow up, a bunch of stuff happens and we get lost and we forget who we were when we were kids. Because when you're a kid, right? My 4-year-old is into monster trucks. Do you think he's overstressing about tomorrow? No. He's the most present person ever in this household. And I try my hardest to learn things from him as I watch him. And it's so beautiful how he's just, going through life. And if something happens, something happens. If he spills something, he's like, oops, cleans it up and keeps going. That is the flow state. That is how we're supposed to be. And it's amazing when we realize that we can be that way. Does it mean that we drop everything and not have responsibilities? No, we have responsibilities. We have to keep going and keep grinding and keep going after our goals and stuff, but we don't have to feel miserable all the time. I hadn't felt like that in a long time, and I was just I'm exhausted of feeling like this. I don't want to keep going back to my old habits, my old, thoughts, my old ways of living. I want to live. I don't want to just be surviving and, punching myself through life and going it through I don't like to be in life and not feel present. I don't want to be in fight or flight mode anymore. I want to be in my flow state. I want to make sure that I'm doing things that I love. Because everything can, be resolved. My mentor is funny. He says, everything is figure-outable. So why not? Why not get out of those states? Why not take a moment and realize, like, maybe it's not that serious. And if it is that serious, what's our next best step? But you can't think of your next best step if you're functioning out of stress and anxiety. So find the thing that brings you back to your present moment, the thing that you love, the thing that will bring you back into your flow state. Do that. Take a moment, breathe, and think of your next best step. Right? Incorporate these into your life, even if you don't have time. Most of you guys will probably, well, I have kids, I have work to do, I have to just always keep going and going and going. 10 to 15 minutes. Incorporate it into your life, Take some me time every single day. I don't care how busy you are. If it is important to you, you will make time for it. You want to know why? Because that used to be my biggest excuse too. But no. Take me time every single day. And I promise you're going to feel a lot better. Create a calm kit. A, go-to list of activities or tools that help you with your stress. A book, a sketchpad, a playlist of calming music, a stress ball, things like that. So when you create a calm kit, those are the tools or things that are going to help you become calm when you're feeling overwhelmed. Those are like your safe things to use when you are feeling the stress again. Right? So stay calm, stay grounded, take action, and realize that you can take 10 to 15 minutes to yourself, even if it's in the car. Like I used to do that all the time when my son was, like 3 or 4 months old. I used to just sit in the car and for 10 to 15 minutes and just decompress and listen to music. Don't forget the things that you love, guys. Like, if anything, we're supposed to be in this life doing what we love, enjoying life, not forcing ourselves through life, not feeling overwhelmed, not feeling full of stress, not feeling like you don't want to keep going. Like, life is so beautiful. Why can't we live in a peaceful way, in a flow state? Why can't we live in joy and happiness? It's this. Because most of the realities that you form in here haven't even happened yet. But you're thinking and you're overthinking and your thoughts are you're running your life. When in reality, your present moment right now, everything's okay. It's not physically real. But our minds are so crazy and so powerful that we can, imagine a future that hasn't happened yet. And our fear will take over. Because our brain is made for that. Our brain is made to protect us. So it's going to think about the most negative outcome ever when you start to do new things. But your brain will adjust. As you continue to do these things, your brain will adjust and it will, be okay with your new reality. So, find things that you love. Don't stress. And if you do stress, because we're human, it's going to happen. Have your calm kit ready. Have your one thing that you love ready. And go into that. And allow yourself to feel. Allow yourself to get out of that stressful state, out of that anxiety, out of that overstimulation. Take a breath and think of your next best step, right? So what does the Lord say about this stuff, right? So let's read the Bible verse of this week. It's actually in Isaiah 26:3. You will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast because they trust in you. This verse speaks to the idea of finding peace through a steady mind and trust in the Lord. Much like how engaging in activities we love can help us stay grounded and present. bringing a sense of peace and calm. Wow. The Lord is saying, I will keep you in peace, in perfect peace. Those whose minds are steadfast because you trust in me. Perfect peace because they trust in me. Wow. So if we trust in the Lord and we allow ourselves to remind ourselves very fast, because it says, you will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast. If we trust that the Lord has our future in his hands, if we trust that we were born with a purpose, if we trust that we know that no matter what happens, God works for our utmost good, we can be at peace. We don't have to stress the little things. God is doing the hard work. Always, 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 always. And he's always working for our utmost good. We don't have to worry about anything else. Just show up, take the next step forward, because that's all he will allow you to see. It's the next step. And you just keep going. And you trust him. You trust in the Lord and walk in faith. Life can be so simple, but we overcomplicate it so much. That's amazing. Well, that's all I have for you guys this week. If you found value in this, please share it forward with a friend, put it on your socials, let other people hear this message, because that's what I want to do. I want to help as many people as possible through my life while I'm going through, and teach you guys how, the Lord is helping me grow. So remember that I love you guys so, so much, but that the Lord loves you more. Always, 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 always. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And we'll see you guys next week. God bless.